Hi, Kayla. I know that you're working hard on this topic. I see that your SMART score went down a little bit, but I actually wanted to encourage you because you're getting a lot of things right that you weren't before, okay? So I want to show you what you're doing right and what you're still doing wrong so that you can fix that, because I think that you are actually getting a lot closer to mastering this topic, okay? So remember, what we do is we do the FOIL method: first, outer, inner, and then last. So you're doing a really good job at the first part and the last part, because as you can see, you're doing 3u times u, and you're getting 3u squared, right? And you got that down here because the correct answer is 3u squared, and that's what you wrote too. You're also doing a really good job on the last part, right? You're doing the 4 times the 4, and you got positive 16. See, and then that's the correct answer, and that's what you put. Now, the part that you're struggling on is you're struggling on this part, on the outer part and the inner part. So I'm going to go over that with you for a few of the questions that you did. So let me erase something really quick. Okay, so we already did those. Now there's two other things that you need to multiply, okay? You need to multiply the outer numbers. That's 3u times 4. So this times this. And you have to multiply the inner numbers. The 4, positive 4 times the u, okay? So when you multiply the outer numbers, that's 3u times positive 4, you're going to get positive 12u. And when you multiply the inner numbers, you're going to get 4 times u, which is positive 4u. Now, I think you did that right, but what you need to do with these two numbers is you need to add these, okay? Because I think what you did was, I think you added the 12 and the 4, but then you multiplied u times u because you put u squared. You see, that's their only mistake on this problem. So you just have to make sure you add these. It should be positive 16u without a squared, because when you add something u and something u, you just get the total of u, okay? So really close on this one, you just made a tiny mistake. Let me show you a couple of other examples, okay? This one you got right, which is great because these were ones that you were getting wrong before, right, with the square. So I really think that you're getting a hang of these because you're getting a lot more of these square ones right. So for this one, I want to teach you something to show you a little pattern that you might see, okay? So again, you got the first part right, and you got the last part right, right? The part that you missed on this one was the same thing. You missed the inside, right, the inner. So let's go ahead and let's do that again. You got the first and the last. Remember, when you're doing the outside and the inside, you need to multiply them by each other and then add them together, okay? So let's see, the outside would be 2z times positive 1. That would give you positive 2z. And then let me change the color for this. When you multiply the inside, you have negative 1 times 2z. You get negative 2z. So what's a positive 2z and a negative 2z? Well, these, when you add them together, they cancel out. Cancel. Sorry about that. They cancel out, right? So that's left. That leaves you with 0, right? No z's. So you don't have to even write anything. That's why there's nothing in between these here. So let me show you the little pattern that you can see when you look at this problem. You see how the only difference here is you have a negative right here and a positive right here, and everything else in the problem is the same. Since you know that and you see that, when you multiply these, you're going to get one positive 2 and one negative 2, right? And that's why these cancel out. So whenever you see a problem like this that has, whenever you see a problem like this that follows this pattern where it's the same thing twice, but the signs are different, then you know that the insides are going to cancel out. And you're really just going to have the first value, the 2z times the 2z, and the last value, the -1 times the +1, which is -1. So that's a pattern that you can see for problems that look like that. Okay. Again, here, same thing. You're getting the first part right? You're getting the first part right. You're getting the last part right. The only part that you're still not getting is the middle part, right? So you multiply the inside. You multiply the outside. You get 3f. It's a positive 3f for the outside. Let me do this in a different color. For the inside, you get 1 times 2f. That's positive 2f. And then you add these together, right? When you add these together, that's where you get the positive 5 from, right? Positive 5f. 3 plus 2 is 5. But there's f's, so it's an f. Okay? So you're getting most of it right. There's just like little mistakes that you need to be careful of, okay? Let's go through and just make sure. See what I was saying? You're getting the squares right now. So you are understanding these where you weren't getting those before. This one you got right. You just made a tiny little mistake, right? You're still doing this right. Do you notice what you forgot here? The only difference between the correct answer and your answer is this g right here. And I know that you just forgot to write it right here, right? So just double check before you put it in, right? That's 4g squared. But that doesn't really worry me. That's just a small mistake that you forgot to put in. I know that you did the problem right. Great job on this one. You see how it follows the pattern we just talked about? How it's the same thing here and here, but one's positive and one's negative. And the positive 3 and the negative 3v would cancel out. So you just have the first and the last. Great job on that. Good job on this one. And then here, I'll show you what you did, and then we'll stop after this, okay? So here, you did the first part right. Good job. You did the last part right. Good job. So you've got that down. The part that we made a mistake on was this middle part, right? So let's review what happens. You want to do the inside, and you want to do the outside. When we multiply the outside, 4f times 3 would be positive 12f, and I think that you did that right. And then when you multiply the inside, you get 1 times 2f. That's positive 2f. And I think you did that right too, actually. But let me tell you what I think your mistake was, because then you wrote 24f squared here. What do you do with these to get 24f squared? If you had multiplied these, that's what you would get. So I think you just multiplied them instead of adding them. So remember, after you do the multiplication for the inside and the outside, whatever you get, you just add these together. You don't multiply them, okay? So when you add these together, 12 plus 2, you get 14, or positive 14f. And that's what's supposed to go right here in the middle, okay? So this should say positive 14f, not squared. Okay, hopefully that helps, Kayla. You are getting better at this, okay? I know your score didn't reflect that, but keep trying this topic. And once you get up to 80 on this, which I think you'll actually do pretty soon, I'll show you the mistakes that you're making on synthetic division, because you're really just making small mistakes on that too. And I think those are also easy to fix.